I guess I am. I got a world of hurt living under my shirt. I don't wanna talk about that, 'cause I got the love of a beautiful woman. There's nothing's gonna take her place. She make me feel just like a natural born winner when I'm not even in the race. That's why they call me Mr. Lucky, and I thank my stars above. You can call me Mr. Lucky, 'cause I'm lucky in love. Never had a whole lot of money. I was never good at games and chance. When I'm playing cards with my buddies, where the money flies right out of my pants. Don't you know I got a little secret? It's the ace of hearts up my sleeve. And when I get home to my honey, she give me love like you wouldn't believe. Yeah, they call me Mr. Lucky, and I thank my stars above. You can call me Mr. Lucky, 'cause I'm lucky in love. When I'm walking through my neighborhood, everybody knows I'm feeling good. See me smiling from my head to my feet. They say, ain't that Mr. Lucky coming down the street? Hey, that's me. I'm Mr. Lucky when you kiss my lips, when you touch me with your fingertips. I'm Mr. Lucky when you hold me tight. I'm Mr. Lucky when you kiss goodnight. Baby, they call me Mr. Lucky, and I thank my stars above. You can call me Mr. Lucky, 'cause I'm lucky in love. Call me Mr. Lucky, and I thank my stars above. You can call me Mr. Lucky, 'cause I'm lucky in love. Call me Mr. Lucky in love. Call me Mr. Lucky in love. You know that's right. Baby, 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 baby.
Hey, everybody, what's going on? What's hot? What's hip? What's happening? What is shaking on your Monday night? Hope you had a great weekend. We have got a big, giant, throbbing, pulsating, filled with good things show tonight. Tonight, let me tell you about Vivian Maier, an incredible story. You will not believe it. I'm going to have so much fun telling it. Please do not put spoilers in the chat. If you've been around here for a long time and you do it, I'll be mildly annoyed. But if you're not around here and you've just been doing it, I'm probably block you. Okay, so yes, boy, oh boy. Like, share, subscribe, notification bell, retweet all the free things that we do to serve the algorithm, the almighty, all-powerful, all-seeing algorithm. Yes. And we have super chats. We have memberships. You may avail yourselves of those if you'd care to. If you care, if you want it. And there's also gifted memberships. So sometimes people do that. If you would care to look at the bottom of the screen at the little crawly thing going across the bottom, which I just found out or just noticed that when I watch things on YouTube in my bedroom, it's on the app of the TV. It's a different typeface. which I think sucks. Is it cold here? You know, Terry, this morning we had huge amounts of rain. I think it's about 71 right now, 73. Huge amounts of rain, early in the morning, giant amounts. I mean, the rain was coming so hard. You know, when it's like loud in your house from the water hitting the top of it. And there was supposed to be a tornado, and that went on until about 11. And it's humid. It's actually humid here, but I imagine it'll drop down a little bit later. Oh, man, I've got so many big things to tell you. Boat's here, says, love you, love the show. Love you. Mean it. Oh, man. Okay, so Vivian Maier coming up. It's going to be awesome. You're not going to believe this story. I don't believe it, and I've known about it for a while. It is amazing. Oh, by the way, we are on hold on a second. Right now on the Rue Vivian Maier, which is a street over in France. They named after her. Ha! The mystery thickens. So I'll tell you all about it in a minute. Don't have on. Okay. I got to take a couple minutes right here, right now, because something very exciting happened today. Very exciting. That I will tell you about in association. In association with, yes, upcoming on the Tom Gully Show in the coming times that are not now and they're not the past. Okay, subjects of note that we will be covering. This is so awesome. I think I got subjects. I'm covered till middle of December. Ernie Kovacs, Terry Garr, Section 230, Dan Rather, Fairness Doctrine, Pop the Balloon, Cotton Club, Stockholm Syndrome, the Whoopee Cushion and or the Joy Buzzer, Count Chocula, the Wonder Bra. This actually belongs in the guest section, but might have one of my porn star friends on. I guess technically former porn star. But I think she does the Skinamax and stuff now. Anyway, and then we will do an entire show on the Texas Roadhouse. You know, because they bring out this Brett Bob, you have to see the Brett. We won't do that anymore. We're done doing that. We did it. I thought it was Comedy Genius, just dropping those off. But we're not doing it anymore. We're putting that behind us. Future guest, Metal Maiden Vicky from Sonic Asylum Radio and Metal Maiden Vicky's Metal Euphoria will be here with us. Russell the Hitman Alexander, the Hitman himself from the Hitman Blues Band, will be with us when he gets back from England. I think we both had the best of intentions. He wanted to do the thing from England, and then it was like, we got booked with it again. And I'm like, I'll wait till you get back. And then also, just heard today from anybody like America's Got Talent, my close personal friend, Mr. Cass Haley, has agreed to be on the program. Mr. Cass Haley. Those are the things coming up. Oh, do you think I'm done with the exciting show news? I'm not. Let's see here. Love you, show big time. What's his name? Whose name? Let's see. I broke my tearing knee, man. Oh, my hand. I broke my tearing knee, man. Today in the mail. Yesterday was the first one, but then today another one. We're going to have a guest coming on, I believe sometime in December. We're still hashing out the details because I'd like to do a show for each one of these things. But a guy that I have been interviewing, and I count as a professional friend. I hope he does as well. I think we have the same sensibilities. We're both old. A man by the name of Ed Robertson, who hosts and produces a radio and podcast program called TV Confidential. If you like old-time television or television in general, you're going to love that show. Well, Ed's also written a number of books, including The Fugitive Recaptured, 45 Years of the Rockford Files, A Guide to Perry Mason TV series, Made for TV Movies, a whole book on made for TV movies, and others. was pretty close with James Garner and did the Rockford Files book. He's got 2 books out right now, 2 of them. And I got one in the mail yesterday, one in the mail today. So this one is called Men of Action, and it's about 4 different TV series, classic TV series. The Magician, I'm not going to go into these, we're going to have a whole show. Harry O, Run for Your Life, The Untouchables. The Untouchables. Elliot Ness and his men were at the corner of that. Yeah, that show. Frank Nitti knew the informants would be there before Elliot Ness arrived. So he moved the beer to the... Yes, there it is. Men of Action by Ed Robertson. You can go to edrobertson.com or televisionconfidential.com and check those out. That's number 1. And then the next one, this next one. I had to have some people lift this sumbitch. And I'm telling you, this is a big, giant book. It's almost 900 pages. And it's called The FBI Dossier, a guide to the classic TV series produced by Quinn Martin, Bill Sullivan with Ed Robertson. And in this one, and I didn't know that this was going to happen. Now, I'm not going to say that Ed didn't tell me this because he might have, and I'm just stupid. But in the front of this one, not only am I in the acknowledgments, and it's signed too. Look at that, it's signed. Thanks me for my help. Guy writes a 900-page book, thanks me for some help. I don't know why. He did all the work. So in the acknowledgments, I think I'm in there. Yeah, I'm right there. Can you see it? But the big thing is, and I didn't know he was going to do this, and I'm so stupid. Here's what I did. This book came today, and I wrote, wow, I had to have a couple people help me in with it, blah, 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 because it's so funny. And I told him, Ed, I don't know if I've ever had this discussion with you or not, but I know I've spoken about it on the air. I think the FBI is the most popular and successful show nobody really mentions anymore or has heard about. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood changed that a little bit, but he's like, yeah, you did talk to me about it. As a matter of fact, it's in the introduction of my book. So starting right here, the bottom on this page, see this page? By the way, quality printing, very attractive paper, got a nice heft, turns easily. Look at this, turns easily. Sold at Amazon or wherever fine books are sold. Okay, so, and then it goes on to down to in the next page, down to here. And it's in the, what section is this? This is the forward introduction. What is this? Acknowledgments. Introduction. Not even the forward, the introduction. This is a big day for me. I mean, I'm mentioned in a lot of books, but this one, it's like I know some stuff. Huh? It's pretty cool. I'll just read a selection from the newly released Ed Robertson book, The FBI Dossier, by Ed Robertson with Bill Sullivan. I have always said this about the FBI, Gully continues. Point me to another series that was on for nearly a decade and that was somewhat ubiquitous on TV that people have put in their back pocket and forgotten about like they have the FBI. Point out another one. I'd love to be proven wrong about this. I really would. It was one of those shows that people forgot how long it was on and they don't remember at all. It's a real big day here on the Tom Gully Show. We'll put that stuff away. But seriously, edrobertson.com, televisionconfidential.com, Amazon. He's going to be on. We're going to do probably, if I have my druthers, we'll do a show on each book. And by the way, I'm maybe on the Men of Action episode if we do one. We will cover those 4 shows as quickly as we can and then allow you guys to ask Ed questions about your favorite old TV shows via the miracle of the telephone. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's what I'm saying, A number of people are extremely excited about today's program, that, of course, being the Tom Gully Hulk, certainly the Frank Sinatra Tom Gully, old school, my first radio job, Tom Gully. He's very excited about it. And for some reason, this poster that I created for Bell Helicopter is also very excited. Well, I got to put that on this one. Is also very excited. But have you ever seen a better ad in your life? You know? Look, folks, this show may suck, but I'm a genius outside of it. Trust me. Trust me on that one. Trust me on that one, little Hiawatha. Let's see. Big show tonight. Buckle up. I love show. But I have Terry. Okay. Ray DeVito on the list. Would you guys like me to get Ray DeVito on this program? I really haven't said or done much of anything about Ray DeVito. I think I like to imitate him when he's frustrated sometimes, but I don't think he would get mad at that. And I do like to, now that I think about it, I don't know that he would come on the show. I do like to refer to Ray as Ray Stabby DeVito, just because of the joke about the I-80. He's a serial killer. That joke, wink, wink. Maybe he won't come on. Maybe he won't. Hey man, here's an awesome dude. It's Stanley Cross from over there at the John Galt channel. I remember Efren Zimbalist Jr. and the Ford LTD. Well, see, that's one of the big things about the FBI, as Stanley rightfully points out, is that it was sponsored by Ford. So the FBI all drove LTDs, but it was also funny in that all the other cars on the show were Fords. They got a Ford, Oh, here's Funky Bronco. I'm drunk as a skunk. Shocker. Wow, I smelled today. Well, you smell every day. If you mean you stink, that's a completely different thing. Learn to use the language like an artist like I do. Hey, Funky Bronco. I wouldn't say this if I didn't care. Dry out, man. Straighten up and fly right, at least for a week. At least for a week. There's some other shows I'm on where people are polluted out of their minds all the time, and I don't want you to be one of them. I'd prefer that you weren't one of them. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's time. I can't wait to tell you this story. I'm going to zip through the very first part of it and get to the cool parts. This is a story that I love. It is absolutely inspirational, yet mysterious, and it's also like, what the hell? It's an amazing story. And it's a story that takes 50 years. So you can't, it's not something that happened like that. It is, let me tell you about Vivian Maier. Shall I? Will you allow me to tell you about Vivian Maier? Please? Where's my, I'm trying to open up my thing. My thing's not open right now. Don't anybody spoil the Vivian Maier thing in the chat. If you do that, you're being mean to your fellow show watcher. All right, let me get my thing out. So Vivian Maier was this woman that was born, well, hold on. I don't even have the picture up. I'm so excited about today's show. I forgot to put the picture. How can something that hurts so good feel so bad? There's Vivian Maier right there. And there's a clue about her in this photo. I'm trying. Anabuse tablets, brother. Take some Anabuse tablets. You can get them. Their doctor will give them to you. You take one of those every morning. You drink any alcohol. You're going to throw your guts up for 4 hours. That'll make you stop. Jay says, love her work. That's not a spoiler. But it's a little bit of a spoiler. So watch your ass. Okay, buddy? Oh, God, I'm in such a good mood today. All right. So Vivian Maier was born in 1926. Now, I'm not going to get too deeply into her early years, okay? But suffice it to say that she grew up in not the greatest of economic situations. Her family was traveling back and forth from France to the United States. They lived in one town in France, and then her mother would meet a guy, and they'd move back to the United States, and the dude was like a steam fitter or something. It was just not an easy life, back and forth from New York to this little village in France called Saint-Bonnet-à-Champol. Would you like me to say that again? So that's her early life. I could get into greater detail, but I just don't want to spend the time on it. we'll be able to find out about that when I tell you how to find out about that. So in 1951, she's 25 years old. She's a single woman, and she moves back to New York, and she works in a sweatshop. And she does that for 5 years. 5 long years. At which point, she moves to the north shore of Chicago, all right, where she worked primarily as a nanny and a caregiver for rich people's children for the next 40 years. Now, why is that significant? Well, for the first 17 years in Chicago, she worked as a nanny for 2 families, the Ginsburgs, from 1956 to 1972. And please remember that name, Ginsburg. It will become very, very important later on in this story. And the Raymonds from 1967 to 1973. Lane Ginsburg said later of Vivian Maier, she was like a real live Mary Poppins. She said she never talked down to us, and she was determined to show them the world outside of their very affluent suburbs. So she would haul these kids out to the center part of Chicago or the stockyards, and she'd stop at a vendor and throw some hot dogs at them and go, come on, let's go see this. Always, everyone that describes her, always, she had a Rolleiflex camera with her. Now, this camera, much like the Kodak Brownie, you looked down through it to take the pictures. And that'll become important later, because unlike taking a picture this way, where you're letting everybody know, I'm taking a picture, the Rolleiflex you held and you just looked down so that you could kind of target somebody, line them up, and then just look around like, hey, I'm a regular person. So there. Jay says, okay, I'll shut it. Hard to contain it. It really is, Jared. I just want it to bloom, but it is hard to contain because I almost did it. You bastard. You almost made me. Anyway. Oh, brother. She was very private. I mean, outside of caring for the children. And she spent her days off walking the streets of Chicago and taking photograph after photograph after photograph after photograph. She would present herself to the public in a myriad of ways. She'd have different names and accents and life details. And she had this one place where all of her film was developed when she took these pictures. And she would put different names, and she's just an interesting lady. So get this, she's 34 maybe. See, 26, that's 30. Yeah, she's 34. And she embarks on a solo trip around the world. Now that wasn't necessarily done by a single woman back then. Okay? She went LA, Philippines, Thailand, Hong Kong, Vietnam, Malaysia, Singapore, India, Yemen, Egypt, Greece, Lebanon, Syria, Turkey, Italy, France, Switzerland. She went all over the world as a single woman, 34 years old, in all these places. And she took her pictures and her pictures and her pictures. Get this, for a brief period of time, she was the housekeeper for Phil Donahue, who I believe had just gone through a divorce, and his kids, are a little too much for him to handle, being in talk show host and stuff. She would always keep her belongings at her employer's residence. And one place she had 200 boxes worth of crap. She's like, of course, I'll bring my life with me. And they said, oh, okay, don't worry about it. And then 200 boxes of stuff show up. Well, Vivian Maier, beloved by these families and whatnot, she starts getting a little older. There is no pension for a nanny necessarily, unless they have one themselves, and then it's a very low-paying position, especially back then, nanny. So she started to go a little destitute. in her old age. Just as she was about to be evicted from a kind of a not that good apartment in the suburb of Cicero, Illinois, just outside Chicago. Remember the family, the Ginsburgs, the two Ginsburgs boys she raised back in the 60s? Well, they interceded and they paid her rent and arranged for her to live in a better apartment on Sheridan Road in the Rogers Park area of Chicago. Much nicer, okay? But in November of 2008, she fell on the ice and hit her head. She was taken to a hospital, but she really didn't recover. In January 2009, transported to a nursing home in the Chicago suburbs, and she died in April of 2009. End of the story. Oh no, the story is just beginning. It's just beginning. In 2007, 2 years before she died, Vivian Maier failed to keep up payments on a storage space she had rented on Chicago's North Side. Now, as a result, her negatives, her prints, audio recordings, and 8mm film, she took all of this. She didn't just take photographs. They were auctioned. And 3 photo collectors go to these auctions, and when there's negatives or prints, they buy them. Well, they bought parts of her work. It was John Maloof, Ron Slattery, and Randy Proud. Now, Maier's photographs were first published on the internet in July of 2008 by Slattery, but no one paid any attention. Incidentally, you can see Vivian Maier. You see how to spell her name and stuff and all the stuff associated with this show. There's samplings of her work on a website dedicated to her. And you really owe it to yourself to see these photographs. They're, as Jared said, they're spectacular. And I'll get to some of that in a second. Maloof had bought the largest part of Maier's work, about 30,000 negatives. Does that sound like a lot to you? Because it isn't gonna in a minute. He's working on a book about a Chicago neighborhood, and he wanted any photos he could get from the various time periods in that area. So he later bought more of her photographs from another buyer at the same auction. So now he's like stockpiling these Vivian Maier photographs. But because he was working on that project for that area of Chicago, he looked at her stuff and just went, oh, this doesn't look what I really want. He didn't hardly look through it and put it on a shelf. And then later on looked into it, discovered her name in these boxes, but he looked up Vivian Maier. There was nothing there. It was 2007, 2 years before she died. Well, later in 2009, he looked her up again on a whim. That's when he saw her obituary and found out who she was. And in October of 2009, Maloof linked his blog to a section of Maier's photographs on Flickr, and they instantly became a viral phenomenon. And I'm sorry, if you look at these photos, they will draw you in. They will captivate you. In early 2010, Chicago art collector Jerry Goldstein acquired a portion of the Maier collection from Prow, one of the original buyers. And since his purchase, his collection has 17,000 negatives, 2,000 prints, 30 home movies, numerous slides. In 2014, Goldstein sold this collection of black and white negatives to the Stephen Bulger Gallery in Toronto. Maloof, who now runs the Maloof Collection, he owns about 90% of Maier's total output, including, and I want you to think about this really hard, including 150,000 negatives, 3,000 vintage prints, hundreds of rolls of undeveloped film. Yes, there is Vivian Maier work out there that hasn't even been developed. Home movies, audio tape interviews, and ephemera like cameras, paperwork, and represents, like I said, 90% of her known work. Since her posthumous discovery, Maier's photographs and the way that they were found have received international attention from the mainstream media, and her work has appeared in gallery exhibitions, several books, and documentary films. I want to tell you right now, there is a documentary film. You can see it for free on demand on Plex right now. It's called Finding Vivian Maier. The second this show is over, go to the website of hers, look at some photos. If you like those photos, immediately watch Finding Vivian Maier, which was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Documentary. Look at this movie, and it only lasts about an hour and 20 minutes. It will blow your mind because you've got sort of interviews with the actual people that knew her, etc. So, anyways, this work that she did was all street photography. It's all people caught in incredibly candid moments. It's her eye, the way that she knows just when to get a certain look. This work is amazing and extremely good camera technique. It's all black and white. I personally love black and white photography. I was about to do this show in black and white tonight in homage to Vivian Maier, but that means I wouldn't have been able to show you the full color of Men in Action. So anyway, you gotta check it out because it's this brutally primitive street art. It's real people. There's no posing. There's no, hey, look this way. She's just walking the streets and finding stuff, man. And it is, I don't know. You have to see it to believe it. Jared, go crazy now. And she uses this Rolleiflex camera deal, which is actually a pretty sophisticated camera. And they were highly prized at the time. And she didn't use just one of them. I mean, she kept going different places in quality. She used a 3.5T, a 3.5F, a 2.8C. And she knew this stuff. She wasn't just, I think I'll get this camera. And I mean, no, she studied it. When she would turn in her film to be processed and developed, she would write on it, please do good work, because the film processing at the time was not computer, wasn't done by a computer. It was done by a human that if they were just running them through, she wanted her work to be banging, crisp, tight, gradations of black, gradations of white. This is amazing stuff. It really is. And this woman, very quietly, without any fanfare, without any, hey, look at me, and preening like somebody on social media would do today, just amassed this artistry, just amassed it, and just kept just making it and doing it. And nobody would have known if it had not fallen into the proper hands. Because she used that medium format Rolleiflex rather than a 35 millimeter camera, her pictures have way more detail than most street photographers. So, you know, she's got her own aesthetic. It's almost like when you see one of her photos, that's one of hers. So I mentioned to you Finding Vivian Maier. There's a Vivian Maier scholarship now at the School of Art Institute of Chicago. Her work is in galleries in New York, LA, Chicago, obviously, Paris, London. It's all over the world. And this woman wanted no attention. She deliberately went out of her way to make sure she wouldn't get any for this work. But at some point, she had to want people to see it because she had it printed. And she went to that degree of trouble. Many of these photos began being taken in the early 1950s when she was working in that sweatshop. So the New York photos. Had she, let's say 1958, after 5 years of work, gone to a gallery, gone to someone who could appreciate it, she would have been internationally renowned. Isn't that what she did? She had a job, kept a roof over her head, paid her bills, so she could. And I think about it, she also had to pay for all this film processing. It was not cheap back then, and the prints obviously weren't cheap. She just kept, without any fanfare, without any adulation, without any support, without any coaching, without any encouragement. She just went out there and kept kicking ass. And as somebody who creates things, and I run into a lot of people lately that don't really create anything. They take things other people create and cut them up, and then they call themselves, look what I made. But this lady, I think her creativity and her virtuosity fed each other. In other words, the thing that makes you good at creative, more than anything else, is your taste, your sensibility, okay? What kind of thing am I going to do based on what I think is good, the things I value, my taste, my approach? Well, I think hers was so high standard, and it mixed a lot of things, technical mastery and human nature, knowing that this guy is just about to light a cigarette, so in a minute I'm going to get his, taking it away from his, all of that stuff. Well, that sort of feeds. She doesn't need anybody to pat her on the back. She can actually look at her own work and give it an objective appraisal, which informs your future work. So I'm so, when I found out about this story, and it's been a number of years, it still is one of the most incredible and I think beautiful things that's ever happened. If she had died and been bitter, and I never got the I deserve. No, she wasn't looking for it. I did that. That's the thing I did. It's the way I want it. I'm happy with it. End of the story. So anyway, that's all I have to tell you about Vivian Maier. I could tell you about a lot more, but I want you to go to the website. Let me see if I can. You can just type in Vivian Maier photography. It'll come up in the search. And then Finding Vivian Maier, which is, and there's a book out there too that goes to Vivian Maier, something like that. But the documentary, watch the documentary. It's for free streaming on demand on Plex right now. Plex, you're welcome. You're welcome. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what I have to tell you about Vivian Maier, because I just want to pump you up. All right, let's see what's going on in our most cheerful. Dang it, ding dang it. Here I went, and this is one of the many art galleries she's showing at now. So Jay says it's free on YouTube, free with ads. And I think you actually have to have a YouTube account to do that. I'm not positive, but I think that's the case. Not everything's YouTube, man. I'm cracking myself up over here. Let me get back to where I've got to find the passage back to the place I was before. Hard to contain. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool, man. Such an incredible thing. Stanley Cross says, I like her Julie Andrews hairstyle. Very Maria von Trapp, Mary Poppins, nanny. Yes. Good night. Farewell. Auf Wiedersehen. Good. I was in that show. College. Here's the other thing, Stanley. She's a pretty big chick. She wasn't big, but she was tall. Tall lady. Jared says they are such amazing shots, all of them. Yeah, I wish I could show a bunch of them, but man, I bet I'd get lit up if I did that. Chef's in the house. Don't we always love it when the chef's in the house? The only thing we don't like about the chef being in the house is there's no chef here. I'm starving. I'm about to chew my arm off. I didn't eat this morning. Fell asleep this afternoon. Haven't had a bite. Didn't even eat these Planters peanuts here. I'm dealing with a lot of stuff. Rumpled Trenchcoat, my good friend, says, wow, this is really fascinating. I honestly had never heard of her before. I'll have to check her out. out her pictures after this episode. Well, go to the website for the pictures. And the pictures, when you first get there, it's a grid. It'll say Street 1, Street 2. You have to click each one of those squares, and then it will let you slideshow through them. I originally thought it was just the one picture. I'm like, this is a ripoff. Russell Trenchcoat, I've got something to show you as well. Yes, Stanley Cross says it's on Paramount. It's actually on a ton of channels. But Paramount, you need the subscription for. So I'm telling you the free ways to see it. It's on Hulu and it's on Prime. It's on a bunch of stuff. If you want to see it for no money, because if it's free, it's for me, then, check it out on either YouTube free with ads. I think you need to have an actual YouTube or Google account. And then Plex for free. On demand. Check it out. But thank you, Stanley. Yes. Her work always reminded me of Bruce Giddens. It's got a touch of, what is it, Ouija, whatever his name is. You people. You're really going to make me do this? You're really going to make me do this? All right. If you want to make me do this, let's see here. Oh, there we go. All right. Let's see, guys, everything that you're telling me. Look, I don't mean to be cross. Remember when your parents used to say that? I don't want to have to get cross with you. Well, there's Stanley Cross. He's always cross with us. In more ways than one. Here's the thing, man. Look, I looked all this up. Y'all act like I don't know what I'm doing. But y'all see this right here? Right here? You see this? I got all of these channels right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you all can piecemeal all you want. I've gone through and I've hand selected the best ways to watch this program. Look, you can watch it your own way. That's fine. You're on your own. There's no support. You're climbing Everest in the dark by yourself. No Sherpa. But it's fun. Because I talked to my mom about this. She's like, well, it's on Paramount, but I don't know if I need to. Mom, look, Plex, free. YouTube, free. Free. Give me some of the word free. And I don't even know what, that's a philo. I don't trust that one. That one's sketchy. And also that one is one that is not on as many. You'd have to probably add that app. But I don't know. But thank you, Stanley. Thank you, Stanley. Stanley's pretty awesome. You guys think I'm pedantic? Anyway. And I say that with the great compliment, really. Anyway, I'll put that back up there for a second. Jared says, that's how I found out about her. There he is, the wolf. Says hi. Triple D, doopa-doopa-doo, says, Finding Vivian Maier is a wonderful documentary. It's incredible. Rumpled Trenchcoat. People saying hi. We do have the most cheerful chat room on the internet as verified by independent sources. Kim Warfield. Hey, I got something for you here, Rumpled. I got something for you. Hello, Rumpled. People saying hi. People saying hi. People saying hi. People saying hi. It's free on YouTube, too. Well, it is free. But I believe you must have an account. Your free account with like your like mine is the Tom Gully Show, yours is Jay. I'm pretty sure you have to do that. Now, I could be wrong about that. I could be wrong. Not everybody gets YouTube on their TV. Certainly my 84-year-old mother, 82-year-old mother. But it's free on YouTube. So if you can get that, get that. That's good information. Very good information. The real reason I didn't mention YouTube is because sometimes if you do have to have an account, people go, I couldn't see it, told me I couldn't, and I just didn't want to hear everybody bitch. All right, the wolf says, Terry, funky, happy, country. Mary Jacob says, oh, not the Eagles. Yeah, the Eagles. Mary Jacob says, happy to be here. The wolf. When you say stuff, are talking the kind of stuff in a donut good stuff, or is it bad stuff? And then it says you. I'm really confused. Jared said, haven't seen that doc yet. Maybe this weekend. It's fabulous. Hey, Rumple Trenchcoat, this is just for you. I told everyone earlier you weren't here, perhaps at another show. Do what you want. Oh boy. We almost had whoa, I almost did it again. We almost had a major disaster here. Just off camera. I guess I better put this away. But Vivian Maier, lady, wow, what an artist. Wow. For my good friend, Rumple Trenchcoat. Coming up in December on this program, a gentleman I've known, I believe, for 37 years. And we've been chatting on the radio and various other places. Really great guy. And he is the host and the producer of TV Confidential, a weekly podcast and syndicated radio program all about TV. A lot of it's old-time TV, old stuff, but take new TV all the time, too. And he's written a bunch of books. I'm not going to go into them. You heard him earlier. But I have received 2 books from him. He's got 2 books out right now, just in time for the holidays. And the first one is called Men of Action. And it features the magician Harry O. Run for Your Life, which is a really interesting series. It's Ben Gazzara as a guy who finds out he's going to die. He only has 2 years to live, and he starts doing some crazy stuff. And then The Untouchables. Elliot Ness and his men had run fragmented to the Portrait warehouse on the afternoon. Men of Action. Awesome book. 4 different shows right here. But, Rumple, here's where our story gets even better. He also sent me this other book he wrote with Bill Sullivan. I think I can lift it. It's almost 900 pages long. It's the FBI dossier. There you are. And it's a classic guide to the whole deal. Signed, of course. And then, and he thanks me for my help. And I'm wondering what that means. And I tell him one of my philosophies. I go, I don't know if I've ever discussed this with you, but I've said it on my show for a long time. Here's my theory about the FBI. So I'm like 1, 2, 3 big paragraphs in the introduction. I can't believe it. I really can't. That's so nice. But I think I might have had this discussion with him back in 2008 or something. I'm pretty sure he got this from one of our interviews together. I usually send people a recording of them. But the FBI was you may have seen the FBI on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. The very beginning, when Leonardo DiCaprio's character and Brad Pitt's character sit to watch him on TV, that's an episode of the FBI. So the FBI is the most successful long-running show that no one seems to remember, said radio host Tom Gully. If you say Gunsmoke, people know right away what you're talking about. Bonanza, same thing. The FBI was on TV almost 10 years, and yet it's completely forgotten. It was never the #1 show on television, but it was always solid every week. For people my age, the Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. series was more than anything else, even more than the FBI Story, the movie with James Stewart. It defined what the FBI was all about. They were buttoned up. They wouldn't cross the line. They always got their man. They were methodical. They were relentless. And it aired at a time before the public attitude was, oh, the FBI. What are these guys up to? What are they doing to those college kids? It was just good television. I've always said this about the FBI. Gully continues. Point me to another series that was on for nearly a decade that was somewhat ubiquitous on TV and that people have put in their back pocket and forgotten about, like they have the FBI. Point out another one. That part's in italics. It makes me sound really cool. I'd love to be proven wrong about this. I really would. It was one of those shows that people forget how long it was on, and they do not remember it at all. Well, Ed Robertson and Bill Sullivan remember. The North remembers. He's my king from this day to his last day. I don't care if he's a bastard. Ned Stark's blood runs through his veins. The king of the North remembers. House Blibblib remembers. The North remembers. Oh, here we go. Whoa. Whoa. Sorry, I'm having to back up. I don't know what that means. Somebody's going to have to tell me. Maybe this weekend. Who hasn't seen me? The Doctorn. How you doing, Doctorn? Good to see you. Oh, by the way, like, share, subscribe, notification bell, retweet, all those free things you can do that help us with the algorithm, the almighty, all-seeing, all-knowing algorithm. And then also we do have super chats and memberships. Avail yourselves of those if you'd like to. Turn on your gifted members. Oh, we do have a monetary goal every night. It's any amount of money, but turn on your gifted. Maybe somebody will gift one, or maybe there's just some stray. I don't know how that works. If somebody gifts 5 memberships and there's only one person that gets one, do those 4 sort of remain there till the next day? I don't know how that works. Sorry, brother. It was a commercial for kids involving stuff. Could you be a little more vague? What do we got here? I'm in such a good mood. Can't even tell you. I'm very tempted to open the phone lines and go over time tonight. That will depend on you, the listener. Dupa says, hello, Doc Torn. Rumpled says, very cool. Yeah, Rumpled, one of those shows, probably the Men in Action show. I think I might try to allow for call-ins. And what I want is a meeting of the minds between you and Ed Robertson, because he even mentions Columbo in the beginning of this one, or is it maybe it's Men of Action. I think it's Men of Action, because I believe it was Harry O that did not have a very good pilot. And he mentions Columbo there. He's like, it's most notably Star Trek and Columbo were legendary. There it is. It was one of the Harry O. That was David Jansen from The Fugitive. It's one of the few network series that did not make it on the air. That did make it on the air, even though its original pilot did not sell. Star Trek is the most famous example, followed closely by Columbo, not to mention blah, 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 blah. So he is a guy that will talk to you about Columbo. Trust me. I'd like to introduce you guys. Hey, yo, Dupa. Hello, Doc. The Doc, people saying hi. No Funky. It's very difficult for me to ever get drunk. That's for damn. I don't know how he got smashed enough to tackle the tree. Remember that one, Wolf? Remember that? Woke up on a Sunday morning. We all used to go down to the dining service on Sunday mornings there. Big group of us. I went by the Wolf's dorm room. He's kind of dressed already. Glasses are broken and taped in the middle, and there's like a big scrape right here. I said, Kim, what happened to you? Had to tackle a tree. What'd you have to do that for? Well, I was walking by it, and all of a sudden I heard the tree say, you ain't about nothing, mother. You can finish it yourself. So he tackled the tree. Never did find out what happened to that tree. People saying hi, people saying hi, people saying hi. Yes, back when the FBI were the good guys. That's right. Let's see here. The Wolf says, I could match Andre the Giant drinking. It has to do with how quickly my liver can process alcohol. Hey, man, don't be big time in your liver. You're going to make everybody feel bad. Let's see. The doctor says, right now, she is dictating what mama can eat. I don't know what that means. Rumble says, well, I'll have to check out those books, too. I only remember the FBI from a Mad magazine references. I bet you that's streaming somewhere now. But it was on the air for 9 years. Name me another show that was on for 9 years that nobody remembers. That people are just like, I don't know. And rightfully so. It hasn't been sort of out there. But I bet you anything it's streaming somewhere, available on demand. And it was in a relatively important scene in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Mary Jacobs says, I also don't know how it works. Who gifted this to me? Thank you. Well, Mary, that would be Rumpled Trenchcoat, a Columbo podcast. He's the Santa of the room. Thank you again, Rumpled, for all your support. Very, very much appreciated. Hey, and by the way, I'm going to tell Ed about your show, and maybe you guys can do a little something, something. Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying when I'm saying what I'm saying? Because that's what I'm saying. Doopa. Oh, wait, whoa. I can be as vague as you want. What's that supposed to mean? Wolf's funny. Wolf's funny. It's fun to laugh. Ooh, another Columbo file. Well, he's an everything file. You ask him about any show. I remember I made him laugh one time. He was talking about something. Well, really serious, primetime shows don't have, such frivolous. He said something. I don't remember what it was. But I do remember me saying, yeah, okay, well then explain every single show on the Fox network. And this was probably in around 2012, I'll say. He will know. He keeps records. I just work at these places and leave. Julian Z. Well, I do have the recordings, though. I will say that. Julian Z says, choke slam that like button. Yeah. Just make it your... I'm gonna like this video. The Nocturne says, so you're telling me that it is possible to get wolf drunk? No. It's not possible to get the wolf drunk. It's possible for the wolf to get drunk. You can't get him drunk. Only he can get him drunk. Glad we mapped that out. Aku says, woo, gaming rig is reborn. It's like we were having a dinner party and somebody just threw a bag of frogs in here. I don't know what... I'm assuming you... Never mind. I know you're going to type about a paragraph of what actually it's about, so I'll just wait. The Wolf says, yes, Doc. Oh, if only I hadn't been drinking for years. Then I'd drink a jar of liquor. Good corn liquor. I'm kidding with you, Aku, by the way. That's what we do, you and I. I get pretend mad, and you don't take it personally. Rumpled Trenchcoat says, is Wolf getting Wolf drunk like God creating a boulder too heavy for even him to lift it? Yes. That's exactly what it is. Dupa says, congratulations on the frog tossing. Aku is going, Aku, did you perform black magic without me? Okay, what was I? I'm opening the phone line. I am somewhat motivated to go a little long here this evening with the show. I go long all the time, but the show doesn't always. You know what I'm saying? I gotta have a smoke. Aku says, did you perform black magic? Only imagining the drunk uncle kicking in the door with a lampshade on his head. Okay. Glad you're happy, Aku. Boy, we all are, I'm telling you. Hold on. I mean it. I don't have to. I gotta restack these books. I mean, I'm eventually gonna read the rest of the book, but for right now, it starts like right it starts like in this above the IBID information. It starts like right in here. And then on the, oh gosh, damn it. I'll tell you what. Sometimes I just want to, I must kill you. Stupid thing. Where is it? Right there. Bam. Okay. So, and then on this page, it goes, that's like a third of the page, right? Right there. Ends right here where my middle finger is. Right here. It's the, wow. It's like right, it's right. It ends over like, it's here. It ends here, right there. So all of that is me talking. Ed will be able to tell us when that happened. Ed will say. And then, see, because like an idiot, I got the book, and then I went, hey, I don't know if I ever mentioned this to you or not. It's like, yeah, you did. It's in the introduction of the book. Yeah, you did. Here, let me help you out. Since you don't seem to know what you're saying. You did. You did. You done did. I'm going to open up these phone lines, and I guarantee you not a damn soul is going to call. The Wolf might call, but I think we're going to talk to the Wolf. We just need to get some different callers in. Not that we wouldn't love to talk to the Wolf every day, all day, but I'm looking for some of you guys to step up here again. And that's just if you want to. And the real reason I'm opening the phone lines is that, and Jared knows, there were some people that dirtied their diapers over me this weekend. And sometimes I set traps for people, like, go ahead, call in, see what happens. No, go ahead, call in. You can use a blocked or anonymous number. I'll answer it. But see, then you'll be on the air with me. And there will be no escape. And no mercy. See, did you perform Black Magic? Where was I at here? Glad you're happy. Glad you're happy. Ariana May says, I've been checking out Vivian's work. Very cool. Isn't it? It's magic. It's just street. None of it's posed. None of it. It's amazing. Composition, too. When she would take landscape type things or cityscapes of Chicago. Okay, here comes the Doctorn. Go ahead. Go ahead. I guess I'll just wait for that to work. What in the Sam Hill is going on there? Thank you. Sometimes the first call screws up. Ay, mama. Jesus. Okay, yeah, that's good. Hi, and welcome to the Tom Gully Show. You're on the air.
Hey, Tom, it's the Doc.
How you doing, man?
Physically exhausted.
Yeah,
Work was supposed to be 8 hours. We went an hour and a half over.
Okay.
Because, yay, storm prep.
Yeah. Yeah. So
you ever been to Louisiana?
I have. Sometimes here on the show we like to pack up our troubles in our old kit bag and smile. So I need to stop asking people how they're doing. Because when I do, it's right after everybody got off work, this show. And everybody always goes, man, my job's such a pain in my ass. So I never know what to say.
That's why I started off with physically. Otherwise, in body and everything, yeah, exhausted.
Well, that's
otherwise,
great.
mentally, emotionally, all that good jargon.
Jargon.
I keep think,
Good use of jargon. Outstanding use of jargon.
well, I would have. I was about to say something with that started with S, but I would like to be polite,
Yeah, you're a nice man.
especially when there's ladies on deck.
Do you have a French last name? Like, are you Doctor Bouvier or Doctor, Gattard or something like that?
Doctor de Plague.
Okay. All right. Ariana May says, I like how she captured life as it was instead of staged like most photography today. Those of you who are interested can go to the Tom Gully Show Facebook and see my photography. I'm no slouch either. I'm no Vivian Maier. I'm no spinster wearing clumpy shoes. And anyway, so what else is new, Doctor?
I would say you're much prettier.
Thank you. I don't wear any makeup. Neither did she, I don't think. What else is going on, man?
Well, not really much. Aside from, plotting out where to go film new TikTok videos, storm prep it is the end of hurricane season.
Well, and y'all somewhere there are going to get or are getting the weather we had this morning. Just dumping buckets on us and 60-mile-an-hour winds. So,
Oh, we getting the winds, and
I bet you are.
That felt good.
I bet you are. You eat enough boudin, you're going to get the wind. You know what I'm saying, man? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, shit, yeah, but that's with any kind of Cajun cooking.
Yeah.
That gumbo when Northerners and non-residents have gumbo for the first time. You talking about them hurricane winds there?
I made some chicken and sausage gumbo. Well, actually, I started on Saturday because my friend that taught me how, Cajun guy named Prejean, he told me first you got to make up a roux. All right, then you put the chicken.
Oh, yeah, you got to have that roux.
You just got to put the chicken in there and you cook it up. It starts to fall off of the bone, and you let it sit for a day. 2-day gumbo better than 1-day gumbo. 3-day gumbo better than 2-day gumbo. That's so I had some this morning for breakfast.
And I'm just now hearing about this.
Yeah.
You couldn't share with somebody, Tom? Especially not with,
You mean
we got me, Wolf, and I'm sure Dupa would like some of that gumbo too.
Yeah, I could, I don't know. I'd have to FedEx it or something, get it there. But
I'm just joking with you, Tom.
Oh, okay. I was trying to solve the logistics of gumbo travel. I like that jambalaya too, and then the etouffee, all that stuff.
Oh, that etouffee. That let me tell you something. That etouffee, personally for me, I always find that etouffee hit better the next day.
Oh yeah, a lot of Cajun foods that way. I had a blackened salmon encrusted with sesame seeds one time. I thought I was gonna die. It was so good. You could
Blackened salmon.
You could blacken like cornflakes, and I'd eat them. I like that blackened stuff. Doopadoo says to Ariana May, yes, instead of lost. Those things could have all been lost. Come on, guys, call Dupa, call in, or Terry. No, those guys are scared. They're scared. All right, Doc, you got to be a crazy Cajun. Are you a Cajun?
I am Cajun. I am. I've got to find a way to. With your permission, I would like to send you a picture of a certain tattoo that I have. That shows that I am certified sealed Cajun.
Okay, do that and then send it to my Twitter. And send it as a DM on Twitter, and I'll get it.
All right.
And then you, of course, are familiar with what used to be called, what's now known as University of Louisiana Lafayette, the Ragin' Cajuns. You la la.
Oh yeah.
The Ragin' Cajuns.
That term right there.
Yeah.
When somebody says hell has no fury like a woman scorned,
Yeah.
I look at that guy and I say, you ain't never heard of Raging Cajun, have you?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, his wife's also Cajun, I think. So he's got he's got a double whammy there. But I used to go to the Festival of Acadienne every year and love it down there. Love it. But I'd bring back that hard frozen boudin and pronounce the sausage, andouille, what?
Andouille. There you go right there.
Okay. I've heard people pronounce it 9 different ways. I thought it was, but anyway, you get a hard frozen, and then it survives the trip back to Dallas, and it's incredible stuff, wonderful stuff. So.
That's why I say it. Cajun food, c'est bon.
Hey, let me tell you that them Cajun women at the festival, you don't stand too close to. They had these they weren't tents. They just had covering like gazebos, I guess they call them, about the size of a giant tent, and then it's just the top, so you're out of the sun, and there's a band in there. It's hot as all blazes inside of there because you're just getting sort of that cooked sort of, and there's so much dancing going on that the grass has sort of been worn off and it's dust now, and there's little dust clouds and people are dancing, and man, you get too close to that. Cajun,
suck you right in.
Cajun girl gonna grab you, and you don't have no choice. You're dancing. They're not letting go.
Ooh. Well, see, that's the beauty. That's a beautiful thing about the women down here. You can say what you want about California girls, about from anywhere else. There's only one song I ever heard of that is directly about the woman from my city.
Mm-hmm. And what is it?
New Orleans Ladies by Louisiana LaRue.
There you go. You're probably familiar with Queen Ida. Clifton Chenier.
That name sounds familiar.
The Zydeco
but
King.
I'm drawing a blank.
The Zydeco King. Queen Ida's big song was "Oh Zydeco." Anyway, yeah, I know. I got a lot of Cajun music here. So let's see. Rumple Trenchcoat says, "My wife makes a great tavern, which is brown beef mixed with gumbo, served like a sloppy Joe." Oh, that sounds good. Oh, man.
Good thing I already cooked something, because, now we get into talking about food.
Yeah.
And that's one thing you don't want to do, is get between a hungry Cajun and food.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. Well, nobody who has lived to tell the tale. Julian Caesar says they can send live Louisiana crawdads all around the country by UPS, but not gumbo. Look, man, I'm not as smart as Cajuns. Just too far north. Yeah, Aku said as a Canadian, he doesn't think he can have real gumbo. I would agree. Rumple Trenchcoat says she's Norwegian, so not exactly authentic. Well, I'm sure the Cajuns will let it. If you make food good enough, the Cajuns will just say, well, today you are a Cajun. Tomorrow you move away, you don't make the food, no more you're a Cajun. Today, Cajun.
Oh, yeah, we give you out a temporary Cajun card. That's what my baby girl told me. Cause she said that she come down here. She said she come down here. She cook. She cooked the food. Cause man, I tell you, when that woman cook, you want to talk about. Mwah.
It says here, Julian Caesar says here, and you can tell me whether this is true or not. Cajuns came from Canada originally.
Yep, from Acadia.
Okay.
That's why. In fact, that's why we called Cajun, because being from Acadia, we became known as Acadian, and Cajun was just shortened word for that.
Gotcha. Julian Caesar says, you said that you would show the tattoo. And he says, depends on which body part contains the tattoo. I probably should ask that. It's on your leg, your face. What was that?
It's on my chest.
Yeah, that's your standard tattoo location. There's nothing wrong with that. The Wolf says,
But I mean, my dad, he got it on his arm.
Right. The Wolf says, used to use dry ice to ship goodies. Okay. Well, anyway. So what else is new?
You put some...
What else is new other than being Cajun? What's going on down there?
Well, we had Gretna Fest. That was fun for the people that attended. Me, that felt like my feet were gonna walk off me.
Yeah. And you're doing all that storm. You guys, all that storm prep down there. So what are you doing? Shoring up levees or what?
That part I don't know. That's them. That's for New Orleans to worry about. We just we blocking off right now. We setting up to block off roads that we know are gonna flood. Because try as we might. There's just certain roads that are going to flood here.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, most likely, we're going to be doing sandbags too. But right now, it's just like we had power go out, so we had to put up stop signs and all that fun stuff.
Cool. Well, hey, man, that's been a good call. You need to call him more often. The hell's wrong with you?
Yeah, I need to talk myself into calling more because I've said to myself, oh, you know what, I'm gonna say something and Tom's gonna be like, dude, the fuck you talking about with that? And I'm be like, well, I feel stupid now.
No. I'm not saying I won't say that, but you shouldn't feel stupid. I'm the one that's stupid. I mean, I think I've proven that. Don't take that from me, please. It's the only thing I'm holding on to here with this thimble full of talent. Anyway, well, hey, man, call in again soon. Stay out of that weather. And,
I make no promises about the weather, but yes, I will try and call back or call again that show.
Get a little of that bon ton roulette. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Always let them good time roll.
Yes. All right, man. Well, we'll see you. Thank you for calling.
All right.
Have a fabulous
It's been my pleasure, Tom.
All right. Have a good one.
You too, now.
Later. If you can't have a good one, have a long one. All right.
That's what she said.
That's right. We'll talk to you later, brother.
All right. Later, Tom.
Bye-bye. He's got to hang up because my thing's not working right here. My thing ain't working right, man. I hate it when my thing don't work right. I guess he's off. Well, all right. I didn't hear the mute. I guess somebody else can call in. Hell, I don't know. For crying out loud. Let's see here. Doop-a-doop-a-doo says, Doc Torn, your calls are always fun. They are. He's always a good solid call. And today was awesome. We talked about Cajun food. Not all are. Here we go. Hey, it's loud. Hi, and welcome to Tom Gully's show. You're on the air.
Hey, Tom, Rumple Trenchcoat here. How you doing?
I am doing great. How about yourself, brother? Thank you so much
I'm doing good.
All your support of our program. We're very, very, very.
Oh, of course. My pleasure.
Humbled.
My pleasure. I just wanted to say thank you for introducing me to this Vivian Maier. Started to look at some of the pictures a little bit while listening to the show, and really fascinating. I know what you mean. It's hard to even describe what makes these pictures special. other than what a slice of life it is, and how everyone's walking around with cigarettes with half of the ashes, or like half the cigarette just hanging there, and the black and white, because it was that better quality camera, the blacks are such deep, rich blacks. It's just something that you do have to look at and experience. It is kind of hard to describe what makes them so special.
Well, they've got this sort of photorealism, but they're artistic at the same time.
Yes.
And the composition of them is just perfect, and everything else. And the thing that gets me is this woman went out, and if you start looking through all the photos on the website, it's like that website, she's got 150,000 photos. It's a small fraction of what's out there, and there's stuff that hasn't been developed. It's just in rolls waiting to be developed. So
it's just kind of amazing.
Yeah. And you know what it makes me think? It makes me think, what other unknown geniuses have we just kind of overlooked? Because that was a storage container that somebody bought. You know, wrong person buys that, and it's in a dumpster. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. They say, oh, well, I took a chance and it's just a bunch of junk. Let me toss it. And instead, you know, you have this preserved now. And yeah, that would take somebody else a lifetime to develop 130,000 negatives.
Yeah. And the other thing about it is that that doing it. When this guy, Mr. Maloof, first put these online, I think it was Flickr at first, they went really viral, and people were just like, I can't believe this. And watch that documentary, Finding Vivian Maier. That will really, really take you deeper into this. But he approached art galleries that went, she's not known. You know, she's not an official photographer. No one ever saw her, you know, and they were really kind of snooty about it. But then somebody finally agreed to do it. And it was a smash hit. There were lines, you know, around the block to get into a showing of these photos. And
and you could, oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say you could see why, because when you look at them, I mean, I've only seen about a dozen so far because, you know, I'm obviously watching the show. But each one you could like, oh man, I feel like I know this person's whole story. I see this little slice of you know, Governor Wallace. I see this picture of Kirk Douglas at the Oscars, and then you see just some kid holding her mom's hand and crying, or, you know, a guy looking at her like, what are you looking at me for? You know, it's just really, really interesting. Just compelling. And
like I said, if people want to, they can go to my Facebook page for this show and go to the photo albums and see photography I've done. Some of it is baseball. And one of the things about baseball is you really have to understand the game to get good pictures. In other words, okay, this guy's leading off first too much. I am just going to center on first base. I'm not going to get the first baseman or the guy, because I know pretty soon he's going to dive back to get back to first.
Right, onto the base.
Bam, there's my photo. And see, if you know things like that. And she was such a just brilliant student of human nature. She's got a photo, and it's a tight detail. It had to be like at a crosswalk or something. But it's a woman in a dress. It's shot from behind, woman in a dress, a man with pants on. But it's really tight around their sort of midsection where their hands that are closest to each other are sort of behind and to the side, and they're holding hands. And it's not holding hands in like a commercial for a diamond company. It's the way people really hold hands. Yeah, they gripping each other by the fingers and whatever. And just stuff like that. And her landscapes of Chicago, or a movie theater, you know, marquee. it's just composed perfectly, and she found something interesting. I have a friend that does photography, and he goes, if you really want to learn something about a person, give them one of those cameras, those disposable cameras with 24 exposures on it, and see what they choose to pluck from the world. And I think that's a really amazing thought. But that's what Vivian Maier chose to pluck from the world, are these things.
Yeah.
You know? So it's amazing. The story is amazing. She is amazing. It's like, wow. That's just, if she had in 1953 ran into somebody that saw her work and said, well, this needs to be in a gallery, she would have been world renowned for the rest of her life. And instead, she's housekeeper, nanny, just private, quiet, worked for Phil Donahue. Phil Donahue's funny, and I don't want to blow, I purposely haven't revealed a lot of stuff from the documentary, but at one point he goes, I met her in a restaurant, we talked a little bit. I mean, I just wanted clean socks. You know, he's like, I'm just looking for somebody to tidy up the place. But so yeah, it's pretty amazing. It really is amazing. But,
yeah.
And
I'll have to check out that documentary for sure.
Definitely, it's Plex, it's YouTube for free. Watch them there. But and I do need to hook you up with Ed Robertson. And see if
yeah, that sounds great. He sounds right up my alley.
The guy's kind of a meeting of the minds of some kind. But yeah, you guys, and you might like his podcast called TV Confidential. I guarantee people that had a hand in Columbo, I think it's TV.confidential. No, it's televisionconfidential.com. If you go to televisionconfidential.com, you can just do a search, just type in Columbo, and I guarantee a bunch of podcasts are going to pop up with producers, writers, directors, actors, actresses. So people are championing your call rather than saying hi. Julian Ziza says, what size is the negative used by that camera? Is it really 60 millimeter? I'd have to look. I mean, I know the proportions of the format, but one of the critics makes the point that because she used that format instead of 35 millimeter, that she got much deeper detail, and the richness of that black and white it's less black and white than the average black and white picture, I guess is a good thing to say. There's more grays, there's more deeper blacks, all that other stuff. So any old way. What's new with you, man? What's going on?
Oh, not much actually. We're gearing up from my end. We're gearing up to do our next episode. We're going to be recording it this Saturday. Hope to have it out and edited soon. It's going to be Double Shock, where Martin Landau plays him and his own twin brother. So that's our next episode on the books. But not really much. Just kind of kicking back, getting ready for the holiday season.
That's awesome. That is awesome. That's a great episode too, by the way. It's really well done. And Martin Landau, what a great actor. Just durable and started off as bad guy, crazy guy in westerns and stuff, and then ends up. Did he win an Academy Award? Was he nominated for Ed Wood?
I'm pretty sure he was nominated. I can't remember off the top of my head if he got it or not, but I'm almost positive he was nominated. It was a wonderful performance. He's a great actor. He always plays, whether like you said, crazy or serious or whatever he does, there's always that level of intensity with him. You know, it's always really turned up to a high volume or a high velocity or whatever you want to call it. But he's always giving it all. It's always very electric.
Well, North by Northwest, Mission Impossible, and Space 1999. Boom,
yep.
boom, boom. He's he do pretty much
really good stuff.
Stonecrab says, I guess Marlo Thomas didn't do laundry. I think this was between his divorce and Marlo Thomas or whatever happened to his first wife. The Doctor says, glad I subscribed to Rumpled Trenchcoat. Can't wait to see the new episode. So see there.
Well, thank you, Dr. I appreciate that very much.
It's working. It's working.
Yes, it's working. I'm getting them one at a time. That's what it takes.
Yeah, like how many episodes do you have to go? Like 93 or something?
I think so. Well, I guess for the world's sake, it's good there was only about 67 episodes of Columbo, so we won't be torturing people for too long.
And then do you move on to the movies or?
Well, we probably will, because there's actually a lot more of those than I realized. So it would still be a fun thing to talk about. But then we probably have to think of another show to do instead.
Do you got any ideas, or will you move on to another mystery movie, or will it be another?
Well, I'm holding out for Banachek, but I know my sister hasn't seen any of those, and that was kind of the point of this, is that this was a show that we both grew up on, so it makes it fun for us to talk about. But I'm sure we'll come up with something. We might do Murder, She Wrote, because that was another Levinson Link show. In my opinion, not as good because it was a whodunit instead of a how catch 'em. But we'll find something.
Yeah, and Banachek, I think, was 2 seasons. Of course, it was a mystery movie, so the seasons are a little bit of an anomaly this day and age. Is that they weren't a full. Wow, back in the 50s, early 60s, a series had 35 episodes. Especially if it was a half an hour. And then it went to 22 or something like that. And Banachek's first season might have had 7 episodes, 8. I think I have.
Yeah.
I know I have the first season and the pilot, which was Banachek, A Cool Million, I think it was called. I'm not sure if I have the second season with that or not, but Banachek, amazing. I loves me some Banachek. I had a guy, African-American gentleman that was on the radio with me, and I had been absent from the station. I actually blew out my voice yelling in a soccer match, and I actually couldn't talk for 2 or 3 days. And this guy's name was Leon Simon. He was a legend here in Dallas. Gully, where you been? You been gone? You absent? Tardy. 3 days, man. Where you been? I said, well, I blew out my voice, couldn't talk, And he's like, what was you doing for 3 days? And I said, well, eating cereal, watching Banachek. And this dude, older than me, older than you, he goes, Banachek? Oh, I always knew you was cool, Gully. So Banachek's coolness goes across everything. It goes up everything. I mean, I wear turtlenecks because of him with a jacket. It's like the look.
Oh, believe me, that was certainly a style that my sister has made fun of me, rightfully so. But yes, I had my share of turtleneck and blazers. Yes.
Yeah. The Wolf says the depth and clarity and shadows created using black and white film was something I immediately understood. I loved using Triumph's film. There's just something about a black and white photography, and there's something about a black and white movie that at the height of sort of that art, those black and white movies, they were artful. They were lit. They weren't they weren't binary black or white. There was gradients and just beautiful to look at.
Very much so. In fact, I think I can't remember if it was Richard Whitmark or if it was another gentleman from that time period, but they said that noir movies in particular, that they were movies that were essentially their lighting was cigarettes. That a lot of the lighting and shadows didn't necessarily come from studio lights, but from cigarettes. Because that's what they were. They'd smoke on screen, have all these great shadows. Now, obviously, they had lights too, but that was, I think, to just kind of get across the idea of how they became so stylized.
Yeah, and the lighting and the German expressionism and the always wet streets that had that lighting that just showed the glisten, so you knew, but it was they really had it down. And when I hear young people today, I know I'm old and this is a little get off my lawn-ish, but I know virtually everybody I know under the age of 30 if I mention a black and white film, they'll go, ooh, black and white. Ooh. It's like, you're going to throw away 12 Angry Men, To Kill a Mockingbird. And I go down the list. And then if they watch one, they're especially 12 Angry Men. I recommend that to a lot of people. And,
one of my favorites, yeah.
And when they see that, they're like, wow, I forgot it was black and white after like 5 minutes. And there's a really awesome Western, of course, tons of Westerns in black and white, but there's one I really, really, really love called, what about Psycho? But The Tin Star with Anthony Perkins and Henry Fonda. And it's just great, great, great movie. And it's, black and white. It's like, check out a black and white movie once in a while, They can't be that terrible. They were the best movies that were made at the time. So, and we've had black and white movies. What was it? Goodbye, Good Night. There have been black and white movies produced since then that people have done. Kim Warfield says Martin Landau used to play the psycho gangster, and also in some westerns. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Doc Torn is so nice. Thank you for the $2. Goal achieved. And thank you once again, Rumpled, for supporting this show. You really, really
of course,
pretty awesome. And I got to support you back. When are you getting monetized?
well, monetized will probably take another decade or so because I need a lot more subscribers. But I did look into that Cafe Press thing because I think you and Dupa had both mentioned that icon that my YouTube icon would actually look really cool on a shirt. So I think I actually probably will go ahead with that.
Yeah, please do, because I'll get one instantaneously and I'll wear it on this show right after I get it.
Awesome.
Yeah, let us know. And hey, by the way, coffee mug, that would look awesome on a coffee mug.
Well, coffee mug, even clock. I was thinking because I got that Tom Gully clock, and I'm thinking, that would look pretty cool on a clock.
Exactly, and also. Maybe Cafe Press is now offering a rumpled trench coat.
Oh, there you go.
You just put the logo on it, and off you go.
Yep. I will definitely look into it. I also wanted to see if if you'd be interested if I could arrange with my sister, and it's something that you would be interested in, is maybe on one of those behind the paywall, the members only shows, if maybe she and I and you could do a live episode of our show.
Do you want to do it behind my paywall or behind yours?
Well, we don't even have a paywall. We're not monetized. I just thought it might be fun for us to do like a Tom Gully presents Rumpled Trench Coat for an episode or something. Just something to kick around.
You know what I would? Oh, we're not kicking it around. We're doing it. I think it would be cool to have you and your sister on and just do a show on Columbo. That way they've got to watch for the episodes, and that can be members only, or it could just be, I think it could just be an open show, because
whatever you want. It just kind of bounced in my head as we were talking. I'm thinking, that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, no, it would definitely be fun. It would definitely be fun. I think you've got a Twitter and all that, right?
I do, yes.
Okay,
yeah.
I'll find it. We'll hook that up, and see when your sister's available, and we'll do a show on your program and Columbo at the same time. It's a done deal.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Done deal.
That sounds great. I would love that. Big fan, of course, of the show, as you know, and I'd appreciate that. That sounds like it'd be a lot of fun.
It would be, and also that would. That's going to force me to watch all those Columbos over again. Darn, shoot, shucks.
Geez, what a punishment.
Awful.
Yes.
That's terrible.
Don't throw me in that briar patch.
Yeah. Don't threaten me with a good time. Anyway. Let's make that happen.
I'll let you go. Yeah. No, that sounds great. Let's definitely do that.
You get with your people, have them get with my people. And we'll do lunch.
Okay.
But the big thing is, coordinate with you and your sister. I'm pretty flexible. I really am. I'm what they call pliant. And we'll make it happen. It's going to happen. Definitely going to happen.
Very good.
All right, sir.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Tom. I appreciate it. And you have a great day. And I'm going to keep on watching and take a look at some more of these photos while I'm at it.
And watch that documentary. It's an hour and 20 minutes.
Yes.
And nominated for Academy Award.
No.
Yeah.
Oops.
Well,
Yep. No, I will definitely check that out.
All right, man. You have a good evening. Thank you for calling. And seriously, thank you so much for supporting the show. I really appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm happy to do it. Have a good night, man.
You do the same.
Bye.
The legendary Rumpled Trenchcoat. Friend to all. Known hither and yon. All right. Not the paywall. I can't afford that. Oh, God. The wolf has seen the tin star. Come on out, big artist. What's the matter? It was a whole posse today. Didn't bring back no prisoners, though. What are you, paralyzed? Come on, Bogartis. The wolf, Henry Fonda in that movie as well. I know what you're doing. You think if you act surly, it'll make you seem tough. Drink beer, not whiskey. I don't want to drink beer. Somebody will laugh at me. I'm drinking a beer. See anybody laughing at me? Oh, God. It's a great movie. It's a great movie. Doctor and Say, I had an idea bounce around in my head once. That really hurt. Doctor and Says, great call, RTC. It was a great call. Two great calls. Two mints in one. All right. What we got here? Thank you, Doctor. Yeah, thank you. People saying hi. The Wolf says, great film. I have it on DVD. It's so good. You can probably watch that one streaming for free anywhere. The Doctor says, I hope SG Fanboy is doing okay. Haven't seen him on the show in a minute. Well, I think he may have a different schedule now or something, but he is usually here at the very, very, very start of the show. He may be listening. I don't know. But in fact, normally, now that I'm doing these little, I'm like, when I'm done here today, I will post the thumbnail and whatnot for tomorrow, and it'll say upcoming. He usually leaves a comment before I get in here, and I get in here about in the software. I get in about a half an hour before the show begins. I'll leave that open until right at the end. Phone lines are still open. Rumple Trenchcoat says, Henry Fonda played such a great bad guy against type in Once Upon a Time in the West. Didn't he, though? A friend of mine, a guy that's on several of my podcasts, legendary comic book illustrator Greg Theakston, said that he ran into Henry Fonda at some place in New York where you use like a quickie lunch plates. You would get a slice of pizza there and a little salad or something. And Henry Fonda was in the line right ahead of him. And he was younger, my friend at the time. And I said, wow, Mr. Fonda. He's like, how you doing? I can't believe you're here. Meaning, I can't believe you eat where regular people eat. And Henry Fonda went, everybody's got to be somewhere all the time. I love that saying. Everybody's got to be somewhere all the time. Anyway, the Wolf says, Coat, you have to do Cannon. Oh, Cannon would be a good one. You could probably set up and knock down all the Quinn Martin, I suppose. I don't know. Stonecrest says, Shuddering Tom. I don't know what that means. It's funny. Rumple Trench says, ooh, I loved Cannon, Wolf. What about you could throw in Cannon and Barnaby Jones? You could do that whole thing that Quinn Martin was doing for a while, which was the unorthodox detective. So Barnaby Jones was the old guy. Cannon was the fat guy. James Franciscus was Longstreet. He was the blind guy. And then he had things like Banachek, where the detective had like a unique occupation. Banachek wasn't a detective. He was an insurance claims guy. What was the show? Well, The Magician solved mysteries, but he was a magician. You know what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Let's see here. Or Mannix. Yes, Mannix. Mannix was an interesting show because Joe Mannix at first worked for himself on that series. And then in the last season or two, he worked for some giant company called Comtech or something like that. He was like working for them, still in the little apartment thing with Gail and everything, but it's the name of the business just always. Let me see what that name was. I got to look it up real quick because it's just the dumbest name. I mean, I suppose for the sensibilities of the time, it was fine, but yeah, I like Mannix. Dun 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 Oh, those songs always had the greatest like jazz instrumentals. They were really great. So Mannix was on the air for 8 seasons. And let's see. Oh, I messed it up. During the first season, he works for a large Los Angeles detective agency called Intertect. Stupid. And Intertect was supposed to be the original title of the show. So anyway, all of the other employees at Intertech were way into computers and technology and that, and he was your old gumshoe. You know what I mean? So anyway, they did some things to improve the ratings because they knew they had a good show on their hands, but they needed some. So the producers and the head of the production company that produced Mannix, a woman by the name of Lucille Ball, decided all the computer stuff is too high tech. Mannix is a seat of your pants by the gut guy. So first episode, season 2, he says, I quit Intertech. And then on he goes, working on his own with the assistance of his loyal secretary, Peggy Fair, a police officer's widow, played by Gail Fisher, one of the very first black actresses featured in a regular series role. If you want to hear some really cool stuff about that sort of thing, I interviewed James McEachin, and that is on the TomGullyShow.com. That podcast is on there. And he had the very first primetime television show, drama series, featuring a black lead actor called Tenafly. Tenafly, we watched. We loved James McEachin at our house. We that was the thing back then. Television actors were television actors. You'd see them in movies, but they were just known for being on television. Harry Towns and Robert Middleton and certainly John Daner. But you can go down the list, and you would gain an affinity for these actors because they weren't just on one show. For instance, James McEachin and Virginia Clegg, they were like stock players in all of Jack Webb's shows. So they were in Dragnet, they were in Adam 12, they were in Emergency, and they just kept playing different roles. Virginia Clegg you would see 7 times a season on Dragnet. And Stanley Cross says, I like Gail as Girl Friday better. Didn't we all, Stanley Cross? Didn't we all? Yes, yes, what we have here. I'm thinking I'll hang out in the lobby. Wait for Joe Mannix to return. He's going to be out of town for 3 days. It works for me if it works for you, Peggy. Works for me if it works for you. What do we got going on here? It's raining. I'm not going out for cigarettes. One more. Perfect. It'll take me through top of the hour. Great writers, Code. Yes. Stanley Cross says, Streets of San Francisco was probably my favorite. That was a great one. It was a great show. But see, all of these shows we're talking about, they existed in your, maybe in the back, but they would be reshown on television. You'd see them either on a local affiliate, or you would see them in cable. They would play on cable. Various channels. And as time went along and they became more cable channels, you'd see them very early in the morning on USA or any number of other places. And those were all there. All of them. Except for the FBI. For whatever reason. Maybe they'll cover it here in the book. That, by the way, did I mention the introduction has just nearly a page of my own talking about this TV series? That I don't remember having conversation with the author about it. Yet he was able to verbatim from right here at the bottom, this last tiny paragraph, to right down here, right there, all the way down to here. See the wiggling right there? Look, that's all me. So today, when I wrote him to tell him about this had arrived, I said, I don't remember if I've ever told you about this theory I have. But, and then I explained the theory, and he goes, yeah, I do remember that, and it's in the introduction of the book. I'm an idiot. Doctor says, jazz, let me tell you about that jazz. We got the jazz. The Wolf says, known as Pug in Cracked Magazine. Doopa-doopa-doo, not Peg, but Pug. Doopa-doopa-doo says those old detective shows has the best theme songs, didn't they? You know, it had the best theme song of them all. And I'd play it, except I get copyright struck. I got to go talk to some heads of the company because, see, Viacom owns a lot of old TV shows that weren't necessarily produced by CBS. CBS owned Viacom for a long period of time. And Paramount owns Star Trek, which was Universal. But long story short, I need to talk to the people that own what they call dormant properties. Now, these properties technically aren't dormant, but they're older properties that maybe aren't being leveraged, or they certainly aren't making the money. They're incremental income to the people that own them. And it's like, you should let anybody play that theme song that wants to and show the opening. I'm not saying you need to let them see the episodes for free on YouTube. That could be a copyright violation, and I'm all day long and I won't complain. But the opening theme and like the opening, because back then TV shows had real openings. There were little stories that set up what the show was about. And why wouldn't you do that to get people interested? I should be able to play that. But the best one ever is the Mod Squad. You go listen to that Mod Squad. Oh, that thing's coming at you. Turbulent youth, the 60s, the man, the hippies, the counterculture. Dun 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 dun. You're just like, oh my God, it's incredible. Dun dun dun. Want another one? Dun dun dun. More where that came from. Damn, I just burnt myself. Cracked Magazine. Yeah, Cracked Magazine was good stuff. Cracked Magazine was good stuff. I'm going to close the phone line. We're going to get out of here. Man, this has been such a great show. I have no idea what tomorrow's show's about. Hold on. Let's just reiterate some things here. We had No Filter Paul on last Wednesday. Then we had Steve Bluestein on Friday. Coming up, however, Metal Maiden Vicky from Sonic Asylum Radio and Metal Maiden Vicky's Metal Euphoria. We're in talks. We've agreed in principle that she will appear. Mr. Russell Alexander, currently touring the UK with his band, the Hitman Blues Band. Yes, the Hitman himself will be with us. I'm saying when he returns. Originally planned for him to do one live from there, but through no fault of his own, they got booked to another gig. That's showbiz lingo, musician lingo for they acquired additional employment. And then Cass Haley, those of you familiar with America's Got Talent may remember the second place winner from the first year. And a dude that's playing all over, making a damn fine living. Well, I used to perform with Cass Haley many years ago, both just like he and I acoustic, and then also with his band, Woodbelly. Cass Haley agreed also in principle to an appearance on this program. So coming up, here it is. I don't know what you guys, I'm going to go through these, and if somebody has a preference, it'll be tomorrow. Ernie Kovacs, Terry Garr, Section 230, Dan Rather, Fairness Doctrine, Pop the Balloon, Cotton Club, Stockholm Syndrome, The Whooshy Rented Lips, Whoopee Cushion, and The Joy Buzzer, Count Chocula, The Wonder Bra, well, you did Vivian Maier, and of course, Texas Roadhouse. We're doing a whole show on it, and frankly, they deserve it. I mean, So we're doing a show. Yep. Stanley Cross says Peggy Lipton. Oh, yeah, man. Quincy Jones. Yes, sir. Peggy Lipton. She was your prototype, late 60s, early 70s, blonde, straight-haired hippie girl. The prototype. The prototype. You'll be shocked to learn that some people have incredible, wild ambitions of creating products in the real world, and they don't have a prototype. Rumble Trenchcoat said, Mod Squad was great, but I do have a soft spot for The Prisoner when it comes to music and storytelling in the intro. Well, the Prisoner's opening, much like the opening of The Fugitive, it's a whole story. Richard Kimball, on his way, death row, state penitentiary. Known to Richard Kimball, what was not known was that Richard Kimball is an innocent man. Oh, the whole thing. The whole thing. The whole thing. And the ending of The Fugitive. Oh, my God. September 18th, 1968. The day the running stopped. The Fugitive is a series, is amazing. I probably got that date wrong. All right. And by the way, Rumpled, the Wolf and I love The Prisoner. Very pervish. Doopa says, Doc Torn and Rumpled should decide since they called in. Doopa, that is a damn fine suggestion. If any of those float anybody's boat, say so, or forever hold your peace, or I'll pick one. Wolf says, me too. In fact, I have the theme song in my faves, Doc. The Prisoner or I will not be managed, filed, spindled, categorized, blah, blah, whatever he says. Wolf knows it by heart. I am a man. I'll get it. By hook or by crook, I'll get it. You know, kids, I'm about to chew my arm off. I have no idea what I'm having for dinner, but I'm having something, and I'm having it soon. However, this has been a fabulous show. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. You guys are the best. I can't tell you how awesome you are. It's incalculable. So go out there, tell the world, tell a friend, probably more accurately, tell someone you really don't like, who you from time to time have thought, why am I the only one suffering with this program? Let's see here. Well, I love Ernie Kovacs, but I'd be up for any of them. I may do Ernie Kovacs tomorrow. Sometimes you sit there and you think, well, I don't want to blockbuster this week up too much. But I think we're going to start blockbustering things up. The thing about Ernie Kovacs is that will, just for me personally, I'll do a lot of research for that. Now, I already know a lot about Ernie Kovacs, and I've got countless DVDs and everything else I can find on him. But I'm going to want to do that one right. So, Rumpled, you've supported this show like no, you just have really done a great job. So have a lot of you, Terry Nee, Dupa, not singling you out, other than to say thank you for calling in. And if you want Ernie Kovacs tomorrow, you're getting Ernie Kovacs tomorrow. Let's see. The doctor says, I cast my vote for The Prisoner. Well, see, I think I already did a show on The Prisoner. Awkward. Doopa says, Tommy Shutterbug, I was just thinking how hungry you were when you started the show. I know, and I'm so hungry. But see, I think I do better when I'm hungry. If I eat before the show, then the show turns into, hey, man, we've got a great show. If there's things about stuff. I'm thinking about changing that to my show's motto. Things about stuff. Shouldn't that be the motto of this show? Things about stuff? Well, that's what it is now. I got to look it up, make sure nobody else owns it. You know, it's like, that's too easy. Somebody else probably said it before. But things about stuff, really. I mean, if we ever went to court of law, we would just show an episode and go, hey, come on, beat that for things about stuff. We'd win the case. The Warfield says, Edie Adams in her day. What's the term? Oh, yeah. Papa Mau Mau. That's what you say when you see. A woman could wear a Lemme dress and sing a White Owl theme. Robert says, I'd love Ernie Kovacs, but if you want a little time to do it right, I'm fine with waiting for it. No, I don't need any extra time to do it right. All I got to do is look out the window, see if the streets are still wet and it's raining. If it is, I'm staying in. If it's not, I got to go get some more smokes. Or maybe I should just quit. I don't know. Did I do my last one yet? Oh, there's one more left. I'll just go with that. The Vague Show. That's impossible for me to remark on because it's true. It's really a grab bag. It's just a whatever kind of show. The Wolf says, the G great stuff in Dr. Pepper. I don't know what's in Dr. Don't they keep that a secret? No, I don't have Dr. Pepper. Right now I've got this zero sugar monster ultra strawberry dreams. Doesn't really promote strawberry dreams. And I have this unopened because I thought I'd blow through that other thing real quick. I have this unopened Mountain Dew Zero. I gotta, what's this Texas weather is just so, let's see here what we got going on. Let's see what's going on. Okay, so we're at 64. There's no chance of precip, I don't think, here this evening. None tomorrow, none next day, none Wednesday, none Thursday, none Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Maybe I won't go out. I'll just go out in the morning. Early in the morning. I don't know if Stanley's still here. I can tell you this. Let's see. Doctors, my wife and daughter say I need to quit smoking. Yeah, I probably do too. I didn't start till I was like 55. It's so stupid. That was the commercial. My last name is not Pepper. Oh, Ron Docker. Gotcha. Yeah. So the weather, it's somewhat corrupt. We'll see. Oh, if Stanley is still here, which I doubt he is, he's probably off doing a show. But I came up with a name for Stanley over there on the John Galt channel, and that is because he does a show called Stanley versus the World. I love the name of that show. He's the only sort of left-leaning liberal in a show full of conservative people. Man, I'm telling you, Stanley's got a very distinct, it's just, you'd think it would be an unfair fight, but it's not. There's 10 or 12 people against 10. It's not unfair. But so the name of the show is super cool. Stanley versus the World. That's so cool. But he needs a nickname. And I came up with, because his show starts at like 11:45 my time in the evening and goes all night and into the next morning. And Stanley will stay on until noon. I mean, but I came up with, let's just stick with this, Stanley the Night Owl. Stanley the Night Owl. Here, I didn't do that right. Stanley the Night Owl. If you do the gesture right after, I mean, if you do the head turn right after, it's so much more dramatic. Stanley the Night Owl. He's not here. We'll try it on precise another time. The Wolf says, hey, Stanley. Wolf, you need to get on the John Galt channel and pop into the room. You don't have to use your camera. You just do your voice and you'll pop up on a person and you'll just talkity. It's just good fellowship in the form of a streaming show. All right, folks. Like the Reverend Al Green, it's time for me to get up on out of here. Now, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. With all that being said, you guys are the best. Thank you. Thank you for being here, man. Thank you. Till next time. We'll see you next time.